Hi, welcome. I'm Katrina Pratt-Roebuck, and I am the founder and CEO of Uplift Me. Uplift Me is a resource sharing site that provides information on resource events happening across the country. And today we are going to highlight one of the organizations doing great work in the city of Philadelphia. Today I have with me Loree Jones-Brown, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Philabundance. Hi, Loree, welcome.
Hi, Katrina. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So really want to delve into the great work that Philabundance is doing. And so my first question to you is, could you please tell everyone what Philabundance does and who you guys serve every day?
Absolutely. Philabundance is a hunger relief organization, so a food bank and a workforce development program serving southeastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey. We serve people who are food insecure. So basically, anybody who has that tough decision of either paying their rent or paying for food. We talk about it as serving people who have more month than money. And so we have the opportunity of providing them with fresh, healthy food, but also with running a workforce development program.
Okay, okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the Workforce Development Program?
Absolutely. We have our workforce development program is called the Philabundance Community Kitchen, or PCK. We've operated it now for nearly 24 years. It's
Hmm.
a free program for adults who are eligible for SNAP, or the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, what we used to call food stamps.
Mhm.
So low to no income adults can come into the program. It's free. It's a 16-week program. We operate it out of a beautiful state-of-the-art facility right in North Philadelphia at 10th and Dauphin. And over the course of the 4 months that people are in the program, they learn what we say are knife skills and life skills.
Mhm.
So basically, that means that they're learning everything you need to know about operating as a caterer or operating in a commercial kitchen, at a restaurant, at a school, at a hospital. But they're also learning those kind of other soft skills that you
Mhm.
need to learn about becoming employed.
Okay, great. How can someone get connected to that program?
We are actually have classes going on now. We're enrolling for the next class. So we have ongoing rolling enrollment for that. And so we encourage people to visit our website, philabundance.org, or visit PCK. It's 2224 North 10th Street to learn more about the program.
Okay, that's great. And I don't know that a lot of people know about the workforce development component, so I'm glad that you led with that. I'd like to talk a little bit about the folks that receive food from either your food pantries that you supply, both fresh foods and prepared foods. Can you talk a little bit about the types of foods you guys offer and who is eligible to receive food from Philabundance?
Yeah, so the good thing about Philabundance, and really the reality that so many people in our community are generous, is that virtually anybody can have access to the food that we provide. So I said earlier that we're a food bank. We do our work with and through partners, nearly 350 partners across southeastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey.
Okay.
Partners are churches, mosques, synagogues, community centers, schools. And that's the place where people come to get access to food. So it's a pantry, it's a soup kitchen,
Mhm.
we're familiar with that. We provide them with free food that they then provide out, primarily free groceries to people. For
Okay.
most, for most of our programs, anybody can come because they're not funded by the government. They're funded because individuals, manufacturers, grocery stores have donated food and funds to us. So when we do private fundraising, we can go purchase the food. If Giant Food Source donates food, we're able to then give that food out. So for the most part, if you find out where one of our pantries is operating by visiting our website, philabundance.org, you can go there and have access to that food, no questions asked. Uh,
Wow, so that's
yeah.
amazing. So there's no income limit per se. So if you are just barely making ends meet and maybe you are not financially eligible for some of the reduced cost food programs, you could still come to Philabundance for food. Is that correct?
That's right. You can get food from one of our partners. And it's so important because one of the things that we realized, I think, especially during the pandemic, I
Mhm.
think food insecurity became top of mind. We started paying
Yeah.
attention to it as a country again. And the reality is, people who are watching this now are either themselves food insecure now, or they have been recently,
Mhm.
or somebody in
Mhm.
their family is somebody they know. I thought about like when the pandemic hit and people lost that side hustle,
Mhm. Mhm.
that's when they really needed to come and ask for help. And so we want to
Right.
provide help in the most dignified way. So many of the people we serve are working, but they just,
Mhm.
fell on hard times, or they're working and inflation hits them, right?
Yeah.
Um, so just to give you a sense of who we're talking about in numbers, across this area, I keep talking about southeastern Pennsylvania and southern New Jersey, over 500,000 people fall into this category.
Wow. Wow.
And at Philabundance, we serve about 135,000 of those folks each week. So it's a number of people. And so there, but by the grace of God go I, each of us knows somebody who's in that situation. And so for most of our programs that are not government programs, anybody can have access to that food.
That's fantastic. And I didn't know that you guys serve that many people every week. That is huge. That's huge. So you guys are really impacting the community in a really important way. Can you tell me a little bit about how the food that you have served, has it changed over time? Is there something that you guys focus on that you've learned over the years to focus on that you could speak to about for the variety of, diets and cultural tastes that folks have? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Absolutely. First, one of the things I should highlight is that through that community kitchen program, PCK,
Mhm.
we have this big facility. We're able to actually produce meals. And so we're able to provide prepared meals for people. There's a school not far from us, the youth school in North Philadelphia. We
Mhm.
provide prepared meals for them. So think
Mhm.
about it, a high
Oh,
school
wow.
student who maybe has a job, doesn't really have time to make it home, to get food. So they can get a prepared meal that they can pop in a microwave or an oven and eat that. And so part of what we do is provide prepared meals, not just kind of free groceries, uncooked groceries to people. So
Mhm.
that's something that I think is important. And our community kitchen students and graduates end up cooking that, which is particularly nice. But you asked a good question. Philabundance definitely has changed over the years. And we definitely have changed as a result of the pandemic. We
Mhm.
realized that across this pandemic, that people who were vulnerable, people who know about the social determinants of health,
Mhm.
people talk about your zip code impacting your health. Well, we knew that people who weren't didn't have proper nutrition because of lack of access to food, they
Mhm.
fared far worse during the pandemic. And so we put out what we call our good food policy. At
Mhm.
Philabundance, we're challenging ourselves first and foremost to increase the nutritional value of the food that we provide. We're
Mhm.
providing more fresh produce to people, more fresh fruits and vegetables, more lean proteins like chicken. We're providing more healthy dairy items to people. Second, we're providing culturally responsive food. We
Mhm.
know that across this city of Philadelphia, it's so diverse.
Yeah.
People aren't just black or white. There's all kinds of diversity even within those communities and outside of that. And so we're providing different types and flavors of food to reflect the community we serve. We think we want to make sure we're providing people the food that they want.
Yeah.
Another part of that is access. In some cases, we're doing home delivery now because many more people, especially during the pandemic, don't have time, don't have access to the grocery stores in their neighborhood. So we're able to do home delivery. And then we also are thinking about ways that we can purchase the food acquired from local farmers, Black-owned farmers, women-owned farmers, and the like. So that's all part of our good food policy that is new for us since the pandemic.
That's amazing. And I really appreciate all the points that you highlighted. I think that when we think about food deserts, we think about it in terms of the context of not having fresh, healthy fruits and vegetables. And so the fact that you guys are emphasizing that, I think is important. I think it's huge that you're delivering food to people. That's incredible. That removing the barrier of access to food is huge. And of course, making sure that there's cultural competence around the food that you're delivering, I think is really important to highlight. So thank you for sharing that. Um, Tell me a little bit about folks that work in terms of volunteering with your organization. Can folks volunteer with Philabundance?
We have literally thousands of people that volunteer with us each year.
Okay.
And so we often have volunteers. We have usually 2 shifts a day in our warehouse down near the stadiums in South Philadelphia. We usually have a handful to a dozen or so people volunteering at the community kitchen. We have some other opportunities throughout the city as well. And then there are opportunities to volunteer with those 350 partners that I mentioned. So I encourage people to visit our website, philabundance.org, to figure out how they can come volunteer. Um, the other thing we've done is thinking about access and what works for people. We've added volunteer shifts for families. So now kids that are 12 and older can join their parents to volunteer with us. And each month we have a special family day. And then some weeknights we have an evening shift for people. So we definitely want to make sure that it's easy for people to come in and volunteer.
That's great. That's great. And that's creative to make it a family event. I think that that is a really nice concept to encourage a whole family to support Philabundance. And also would love to know, I'm sure that although you get donations, you probably have more need that you can meet. And so we certainly want to make sure that folks have the opportunity to know how that they can donate to Philabundance. So how can folks donate to your organization?
I appreciate that question. And one of the things we've been running right now is what we're calling our Spread the Love campaign. So we're encouraging people to donate peanut butter or the alternatives to that are kind of, for those that have allergies. And we're trying to collect 40,000 jars or pieces of like peanut butter or tahinis or other kind of spreads that we think people would want. We're doing this month. We're doing it for 40,000 because soon we'll be kicking off our 40th anniversary for
Okay.
Philabundance. And that's kind of a healthy protein for those, for
Right.
many people. And so we encourage people, they can come to one of our sites. So right here, down near the stadiums, we're at basically near 3rd and Patterson, but you can find out on our website. Also, we're a nonprofit, and so we get a lot of our support from everyday people. We have kids that send a couple dollars from their piggy bank. So people can either visit our website to learn how to donate or kind of send in or kind of multiple ways of donating. So definitely drop off food for us for a food drive, have a virtual food drive, or donate funds. We can always use your help.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate that there's a variety of ways in which people can support Philabundance. So we will certainly include that information in the link below this video. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. Thank you for the work of Philabundance, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you so much for this incredible resource. I think people are always looking for different ways to either donate and volunteer themselves, but also to get resources for them, for their families. So you're providing such a great resource, Katrina. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Loree. Take care.